Ciao, homie.
So the final event at the 2021 Magnus Ver Magnus and Strongman Classic was the legendary Husafell Stone Carry, and boy was it impactful today. Let's have a look at the results. Starting off, we have Lautaro Lorda, who went first. He used all of his energy just to pick up the Husafell Stone and couldn't walk with it at all. So a zero performance, unfortunately, didn't get past the starting line for Lorda. And the one thing I should mention is, again, they're out in a little coating of snow. So in between each competitor's carry, you have the staff wiping it off and cleaning it. And the interesting thing was they stand it up for the competitors too. So like the athletes are not actually picking it up flat off the ground. They're picking it up from a standing up position. It's on the ground, but like on its point with the staff holding it up for them. And I'm assuming that has to be just so it doesn't get snow on it again. But an interesting event where an athlete isn't doing all of the work. So I found that very interesting. Moving up the list, we had a couple more zeros. So Tomas Dari Toriston actually had withdrawn earlier in the competition, so he did not carry the Husafell. We have Kim Ukarak Lorenzen, who zeroed as well, so he went fourth in the order. He used a lot of energy just to lift up the stone, never crossed the start line either, even after trying to put it down and readjust, still just couldn't get it going. So the Husafell stone has the challenge of not only carrying it, but gripping it the right way and how high up you hold it, balancing your vision with your breathing and how much weight it's putting on your chest. So there's a lot of factors going on with this particular event. Stan Carradine had withdrawn as well, so didn't get to carry the Husafell, zero for him. Dennis Colrus also had withdrawn, so those are the three competitors who withdrew from the competition, so zero for Dennis. Then we had 6 points go to Pierre Motal, who went fifth in the order, and I wrote here, what an animal. He gets past the 20-meter mark. As Magnus described, this is a carry around the traditional sheep's pen in Husafell in Iceland, and it's 30 meters around one revolution. So 20 meters is not quite one revolution. He made it about 20 meters. He stalled. He put it back into his lap to rest. He tried to keep going after that, but it's almost dangling at this point. But he still gets a couple more meters with it really hanging low. So what an animal, Pierre Motal, to get 30.12 meters. 7 points went to Ryan England, who was in fourth place overall, as you can see right here coming into this event. So keep an eye on that number as well, because we can see how the final standings equate to where they were before and after this event. So 33.9 meters for Ryan England. He went eighth in the order, a nice high pick and hold the whole way. He was walking a pretty tight circle, like really close to the sheep's pen to make his circle, make his distance more true rather than having to walk a greater distance to get a shorter measurement. He loses it forward a little bit after the 30-meter mark. And Forbes Cowan mentioned that this much back arch gets too hard after a while with this kind of weight. And then Magnus said, yeah, it's really taxing on the hamstrings as well. And so that's how that went. 8 points to Irvin Toit, so he went sixth in the order. He picked it really low, but made it surprisingly far holding it this low, as compared to Sigfus Fosdal, who we'll see later on, who had a perfect pick, which we'll describe later. 38.4 meters for Irvin Toit, who was in sixth place coming into this event. Theodor Mar Gudmundsson was in 12th place coming into this event, earns 9 points for a 40-meter walk. He went second in the order. A good run for him. The record is just short of 2 revolutions in these similar conditions, bare-chested. So it would be around a little less than 60 meters is the record. So when you're judging these distances against that, that's what the record is. Magnus said they're measuring with a rope right up against the pen. So basically everybody's walking further than what they're getting credit for. But how else are you going to measure it, right? You can't judge how large of a circle guys are going to walk. We then have Samuel Holo, who gets 10 points for 41.15 meters. He was in third place podium position coming into this event. So we'll see how these 10 points affect that. He went ninth in the order, a nice height on the hold. Interesting that he's holding it with his fists instead of flat hands. And then I noticed other guys doing that too. So might be a technique advantage that I'm not aware of. So great distance for Sammy. 11 points go to Christian Jon Haraldsson, who was in fifth place coming into this event. He manages a great distance, 41.7 meters, so a little bit further than Sammy. He went 7th in the order, a nice high pick, good breathing, wasn't really affected, at least at the beginning, with the weight of the stone against his chest. Started to slide down slowly after a few seconds, but he fights for more distance as it continues to slide the whole way, and he finally drops it. So some of the other guys, they make it to a distance where they know they can't make it anymore and kind of drop it down. This was different. This looks like it was slipping and slipping and slipping, and he went every centimeter he could until it just slipped out. It wasn't like he gave up. So very interesting there. And I notice here after Christian went that it's taking 4 guys to carry the stone back. They put it in a net and they're carrying it back. So 4 guys to carry back what one athlete is handling on his own. And some of them for quite long distances, as you can see. 12 points went to Athor Ingolfsson Melsted, who goes 42.2 meters. He went 10th in the order. Forbes Cowan heard a rumor that Athor was up here last night practicing, or the night previous practicing this. So it's interesting the staff keeps it tipped up for the athletes to get started, as I mentioned. But Athor had the fastest pace of anyone. He was almost close to running with this thing. He seemed to run out of air kind of all of a sudden, and then he launched it forward into the air to get maybe another meter or so for a big finish, kind of putting him in second place at the time that he went. So 42.2 meters. Athor was in second place coming into this event, so really trying to make a run to win this competition. 13 points then went to Maxime Boudreau. So he went 11th in the order, and what a crazy run for Maxime. It was starting to slip down around the 20-meter mark, and then Magnus is saying he's starting to struggle. Maxime started shouting to the crowd to kind of get support, and they really got fired up for him. And, then it's sort of, as soon as he's firing up and hyping up, it slips out of his left arm. He kind of catches it. It doesn't fall. And he keeps on going. So Forbes Cowan said, like, he's really going to struggle to make it to the 40-meter mark because this happened around 30. And he still makes it to 42.3 meters. Maxime went so far on a stone that he was barely hanging on to that it's really an amazing, amazing accomplishment. And, if you take into account everything he had to go through in every event, not quite making it to the line on the farmers and whatnot, he earned whatever his final placing will be here, which we'll see in a moment when I show you those final standings. He earned every bit of it. So Maxime Boudreau. And then your winner of the Husafell Carry, my friend Sigfus Fosdal. I was very, very happy to see this. He went 3rd in the order, and I wrote here, wow, what a run. That same really composed, professional lapping that he was doing on other events helped him to get his grip calmly and with composure here. He stands up, easily adjusts it high on his chest and face, and a really smooth run to take the lead when he went 3rd, and he kept the lead the whole way for 14 points. 48.7 meters for Sigfus Fosdal. Magnus said it's cold but a beautiful day today, so kind of giving you that little editorial there. But Sigfus just looking like a real professional when he does things in a standard way every time, so to minimize risk. And it's just really great to watch him. And so Magnus asked him afterward, how were you able to manage that? And he said, oh, it was easy. I picked it up and I walked with it. So great sense of humor with Sigfus as well, and a great finish to the competition to win an event that, really try to put himself back in the running and show that never give up attitude. And I really love it. And buddy, it was a pleasure to watch you do that Husafell Carry. I can't wait to see you do it again. So there's your winner for the Husafell Carry, Sigfus Fosdal. And if you want to have a look at what the overall standings, the podium finishers, and the winner of the 2021 Magnus Vera Magnusson Strongman Classic, you can do so by clicking here.